this is Scott Deal with Ward & Brown. I'm going to give you a quick and dirty demonstration of how to run a renewal quote on our application. You can see I've got some sold quote information in here. You can come in here and you can click on these and you can get the details of your quote. I've actually taken the liberty of exporting a census from Ease, which gives me all of the details that I need. So this is all of the details. It's all of the employee information, including all of the rates, including all of the enrollment, so that it makes it very, very simple for me to run my renewal. I'm going to go ahead and create a new quote. I'm going to name this renewal case. Find my SIC code either by typing in a word or typing in the actual 4-digit code, and add in my employer's zip code. Click the effective date that you're quoting against, and you're going to get to the census page. You can import your census data. I showed you that in Renewal Census from Ease, and that has now come in. If I needed to, for any reason, I could make adjustments to this. Like if I knew, for example, that Anne was not enrolled, I could deselect her so that her and any of her dependents don't get enrolled and don't get shown on the quote. I can mark people Cobra. I can make small adjustments by clicking on an employee's card and changing, say, a zip code or changing other things about them. I can reorder things, but I've put things in my Excel template in a specific order, and I'll show you what I did, kind of the madness behind it, but it actually works to save you quite a bit of time. I order my census data by the plan that people are enrolled on. So that's why they're not in alpha order. I know a lot of people like alpha order, but not me. So this application is designed to support several phases of the quoting and presentation process. And perhaps in a subsequent demonstration, I'll show you how to look up doctors, hospitals, and medical groups through our integrated provider search, updated weekly by our carriers with data, so that you can confirm continuity. For example, if you're proposing that the client switch to another carrier, you can confirm that they're going to have access to their doctors. I'm going to skip that for now, come to my coverage screen and hit add a package. I'm going to go ahead and add in their current, make sure that it's for the right effective date. Click next. I'm going to go ahead and add my Blue Shield because that's what they had. I'm going to remove the networks that the client doesn't have. By the way, a real quick handy fact, if you're ever confused, like I get sometimes with some of our carriers, especially as they keep changing some things, about the network size, you can easily see that on this screen. So smallest to largest, smallest to largest. So quick handy tip, things you can't find elsewhere, you can find on Ward & Brown's websites. So this is your plan selection screen. There's some really huge advances coming on this, but the functionality will still be here to search. I love this little magnifying glass. It's a dream. You can come in here and you can search for any plan by plan name. So I know they have the Gold 025. I know they have the 2020 plans on the Trio and on the Access Plus. Now, if I needed to get to the local access network that I filtered, I can come down here and I can re-add it into the display. I could also do things like change the way the cards are displayed. I can add in benefits if I was comparing, right? There's all kinds of neat ways for you to really investigate and get into the details of these plans. You also have the 3 dots here. 3 dots always give you access to greater functionality, so watch out for those because I think they hide some goodies. Once you've got your plan selected, you can proceed on. This is no longer where I select, where I assign plans. I now do that on this screen because we have we have actually 2 ways to do it here. You can either click on this or you can click on this. Now this is going to be more like our old quote experience, our WBQuote experience. And this one's going to be a new style. Personally, this one works for me. Oop, and actually I see something. I order things. I think I mentioned this on the when I was talking census, I order things in a very specific pattern that I want to discuss them with my client. So I always put, lowest to highest network. I always put my HMOs together, my PPOs together. So it's very particular. And I do that because on the output side, it comes out in the order that I put it in. Census comes out in my order, plans come out in my order, packages come out in my order. So it allows me to craft my presentation while I'm in the quoting process. I also did that because I know that I've got 2 people who are on that Access Plus, and then the way I ordered the census, everybody else is on the PPO plan. So I can quickly come in here and I can make this plan assignment adjustment. And I can make sure that my group is set up correctly, okay? And again, there's other things behind these, menus. You can always swap things out. You can compare plans. There's lots of functionality in here behind these 3 dots. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of an issue that we've got running. For Blue Shield, we've had some trouble with some of their Roll 2 plans. So Auto Create should create a complete renewal package for you, but it's not been functioning for this Q4. So I'm going to show you how to get around it. I'm going to show you not to be afraid of the red. Red is not a problem. When you see these red messages, it just means that it's something that you have to operate on. So if you click on Needs Reprocessing, it's going to take you into the renewal package. Normally what would happen is our team has set up the carrier designated Roll 2, so it should pop in those new plans. And if you're doing that with anything other than Blue Shield, it should pull in the right plans. So let's see, what am I missing? I've got my 025. Okay, so it's just the 2 HMO plans that it didn't pull. I can see my current commingled. So if I'm ever confused about which plans that I've got, I can always see what's in my current package. Okay, now I've got my renewal on screen. I do need to do some work, right? I need to reorder these plans because they're not in my order. And then I've got a couple of people who are assigned to the trio who should be assigned to the platinum, the Access Plus. So I've got to go find those people. Here they are. Hit confirm. Great. One thing I forgot, contribution. We have all manner of contributions: employer pays, employee pays. We have percentage, we have dollar, we have roll excess on both percentage and dollar. So all kinds of goodies for you to use to run your contributions. If I had added that contribution before creating the renewal package, it would have come over onto the renewal package as well, so I didn't have to re-enter this. But I'm a glutton for punishment. Okay, now we've got our current and our renewal. Now I'm going to take a totally daring and bold move, go to the 3 dots, and I'm going to create comparable packages for all of my other carriers. This tool will go and look at all of the plans and all the packages, and it will try to create a package similar to the package that I just based it on, which is the renewal, for each of those carriers. Sometimes it has greater success than other times, especially for more complex packages. If you've got 20 plans, it may do well and it may not for some carriers. Some carriers have more limitations, right? They have package limitations that constrain the plans that you can select, or they have network limitations that make it more difficult for the system to find good options for you. But what it does do is it pulls forward the carrier, the plans, the plan assignment, the contribution. Bada bing, bada boom, I'm done. I've got my whole quote here, and unfortunately, none of them errored. Otherwise, I would show you what to do to solve those errors. But sometimes, it won't be able to assign an employee, right? If I've got an employee who's out of area with one network, or out of state happens a lot, especially these days since COVID. In which case you'll see that employee gets marked unassigned. So you'll need to give that employee an alternative plan arrangement, right? And you can either go into the quote So you can edit the package, add another plan, place the employee on that. You can reassign the employee to one of the existing plans in the package. There's all kinds of different ways to solve the red problems that might appear on the screen at this point. You can reorder things. You can create a copy. So let's just say I really wanted to convince my client to stay right where they are. And it looks like CalChoice might be giving them a good option. So maybe I want to do this. Let's see. Wow. Oh, yeah. Okay. Always interesting to see what happens. So CalChoice probably gives them the best option. I'm going to go ahead and move that one left. And then maybe followed by Covered California, right? Okay. Now, let's say I didn't really know, I mean, the system picked these plans, right? So I don't really know how these plans compare. You can come to these three dots here and you can compare your plans. So you can see right off the bat exactly how the plans are going to compare. Right? And you can swap the plan. Right now, I want to see how the gold or the platinum 020 compares. All things I need to warn my client about. So there's reasons that these are less expensive, right? And so I can either tell the client, hey, look, if you're really looking for savings, these are options that get you, the same type of quality of plan, platinum plan, but with a higher out-of-pocket max, may or may not affect people. Or I can give you something probably in Anthem. So let's see what Anthem does. I can give you something that's a little bit higher cost, that's going to get you roughly the same benefit. So really, the client's in good shape with Shield here. But let's just say I want to make sure that the client stays. I can always create a copy of the package. Now I've got a copy that I can play with. So now I can come in here and I can say, okay, let's go in and edit this package. Okay, so here I've got my current. Boy, there's nothing lower cost than that, is there? Okay, so let's find something to replace, I don't know, that Access Plus or the gold PPO. So here's my gold PPO. So here's my full PPO, the gold 25. Okay, so let's drop this PPO. Hey, Mr. Owner, you could save yourself some money by increasing your deductible on your PPO plan. Personally, I don't know an owner that would go for that, but it is an option for you. You can also do things like adjust your contribution, right? So I can adjust the contribution down just a little bit. Hey, save 5%. And I can immediately see the impact both by the employer cost and the employee cost. Okay. So if I was looking to just kind of cut what the employer was going to have to pay and cut what the employee was going to have to pay on the renewal, I could do that here by creating copies of this package all day long. When you're done, when you've got the packages exactly the way you want them to, by the way, you can quote dental, vision, and life here as well. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to show you the medical. It's mostly what we're focused on this quarter anyway. You can go to our summary page and jump into output. Now, on the output for this type of quick and dirty, generally speaking, I don't really do a whole lot of work inside of the output viewer. I might take a look at it and say and reconfirm, but I've already seen that the rates are, what the rates are. You can come in here and you can see how the plans compare, right? We highlight the differences for you. If it was a really important client, you might take the time to go in here and turn these red and green, turn this thing into a little Christmas tree. Entirely up to you how much you invest. I'm going to go ahead and just jump into exporting the quote. For something like this, I generally don't want to spend a huge amount of effort with the client explaining things. I just like to tell them, hey, look, this is, this is where you are. This is what your options are, financially speaking. I suggest you stay with your current customer or current carrier. You can export that quote. It's going to generate. We've got PDF, we've got PowerPoint, we've got Excel. I've gone ahead and just generated the standard PDF so you can see what that looks like. Here's my renewal case. And what this is going to do is it's going to give me back the sold case information, as well as a comparison between the different packages that I've quoted. So, for example, I've got my current and my renewal, and then I've got the copied package that I created. And I can show them the cost savings, right? I can show them the cost savings for the other plans, Cal Choice, Anthem, Covered California. So very nice, beautiful graphical display for, the cost savings that are potential for each of the carriers. Now, if some of that for some reason sparks some interest, I can always jump back into the proposal and I can re-up and get some additional details. But generally speaking, by here, I've already told the client, hey, you're well off where you are. I hope that helps you generate quick and easy proposals this Q4 season.